Welcome back to Paul's Tech News. I know what you're thinking. Paul, it's Thanksgiving and Black Friday weekend. We have officially crossed the threshold into full-blown Christmas season. Shouldn't you be decking the halls, bowing the holly, and getting fa-la-la-la f***ed up on eggnog? Aren't there leftovers to eat, sporting events to behold, and icicle lights to hang while dangling precariously from your rain gutter? At the very least, should you not be updating the exhaustive list of insane tech deals that you have been cultivating and pruning so lovingly throughout the weekend, which is absolutely still active and also linked in the video description? How can the week's tech news be effectively summarized amidst such seasonal chaos and disruption? Well, I understand your concerns, viewer who was thinking all of those things, but when I signed up to cover the tech news every Sunday, I signed up forever, except some holidays and planned time off and the occasional bit of sick leave. And despite all the tech deals and turkey-jerking distractions of the past week, tech news happened. And as God is my witness, even if my editor Joe has to stay up late to edit and piss off his girlfriend because they missed their Friendsgiving, I will deliver the tech news to you. And I will also eat this pie. It's homemade. See, Joe, now you have to go to Friendsgiving.
Excellent!
Today's video is brought to you by Kioxia's ever-expanding family of high-performance SSDs, featuring their latest BiCS 3D flash memory. The XG8 Client M.2 SSD is now available in capacities up to 4 terabytes, with up to 7 gigabytes per second sequential read speeds, and for enterprise or hyperscale data center use, consider the CD8, which supports PCI Express 5.0, or the XD7P, which leverages the thermal and performance benefits of the E1.S form factor, ideal for pairing with the latest AMD EPYC or Intel Xeon server hardware. For more on Kioxia SSDs, click the sponsor link in the video description. Before we get started, a quick and shameless plug for my store at paulshardware.net. We have kicked off the holiday 2022 discounts, 10% off orders over $50, 20% off orders over $100, shirts, mugs, hoodies, pint glasses, and more, new 8-bit designs, and my new water bottles. If you guys buy something, thank you. But speaking of some holiday deals, and more specifically tech deals, a bit of a stir was caused earlier this week when AMD's Ryzen 7000 series CPUs, the new AM5 ones that just launched back in September, went on sale to honor the annual godless feast of venality and materialism that is Black Friday week, or month, or however much of the calendar year the corporate buy fest has now devoured. Anyway though, the latest Ryzen CPUs like the 7600X and 7950X were marked down by 60 to nearly $150. Given that one of the biggest criticisms for the AM5 CPUs at launch was the price, particularly when combined with pricey motherboards and DDR5 memory, the price cuts were welcomed by consumers and likely spurred some fence sitters to take the plunge on some new hardware. But the question remains, are these permanent cuts or just temporary offerings to be burnt at the altar of consumerism? At first, it seemed as if they were permanent. Joyful buyers saw AMD's website declare new low price in white text against a portentous blood red background above each processor. But if anyone has blood on their hands now, it's AMD, whose deception has been revealed. The text has now been changed to deals on our newest processors. And that doesn't sound very permanent to me. And I bet they just can't wait to jack those prices back up. As consumers, we should feel violated, of course, but to be fair, we were warned by our German friends at PC Games Hardware. I will dictate. Sind die günstigen Preise der Hauptorder vorübergehend? Die Ryzen 7000 CPUs sind zuletzt deutlich unter die UVP gefallen. I am, of course, German by heritage, which is why I can do that, and while my German pronunciation is immaculate, of course, but basically AMD said these are just temporary deals and not official price reductions. My advice to them is to officially reduce the amount of bullshit they're trying to feed us.
One eternity later.
Speaking of AMD, I'm going to talk about Radeon RX 7900 GPUs now. And we really need those to compete with NVIDIA, so I take back anything negative that I might have said about Team Red up to this point. We saw the reference designs for the RX 7900 XT and RX 7900 XTX back at their announcement event at the beginning of November, but images of add-on board partner designs are now starting to trickle out as well. Sapphire was the latest to jump into the mix with a tease of their Nitro card posted on Twitter. There isn't a whole lot to see. There's 3 fans, with the center one spinning in the opposite direction of the outer ones, a couple pink strips of light along the edges that are presumably RGB, and a PCI Express connector. It's also unclear if this is an XT or an XTX, but PowerColor has also tweeted pictures of two of their models, the Hellhound and the Red Devil, along with some marketing copy that I will read for you now. With its restless desire to rule the universe but no wish to see any light, Devil 13, the ruler of the underworld, created a new devil to rise from the underworld and master all creatures. Red Devil, as he was named, known to be the only devil besides his creator to master all elements of the pentagram, earth, water, fire, wind, and void. Its presence was feared by all corners of the New World ever since no one dared to challenge Devil's true gaming empire. Interesting. They didn't need the apostrophe on the "it's" here, by the way. But the Hellhound has a backstory, of course, as well, that's just as lurid, but I've had enough dramatic readings for today. Asus, meanwhile, went as far as to put up the product page for their Asus Tough Gaming Radeon RX 7900 XTX OC Edition 24GB GDDR6 version of the card. That's quite a mouthful, but from the 3 pictures that were published, it looks just like all the other recent Asus Tough cards, all the way down to the cooler size, which is 3.63 slots. Not 3.6 slots, not 3.7 slots, 3.63 slots. So you can still put a 0.37 slot wide expansion card in the 4th slot. But it's not these early teases that are arousing the attention of many a PC gamer, it's the rumors. One, that the third-party cards might cost a lot more than the reference designs by as much as $200, like an NVIDIA graphics card or something. And 2, that the AIB partner cards might not arrive for 2 or more weeks after the December 13th launch date, which would be the last week of December, or even in the far-off future of 2023. These rumors were sourced from posts on the Chinese language MyDrivers and Board Channels forums, but the Germans have returned once again to save the day, as ComputerBase.de reports that while yes, many board partners are delaying their custom designs, at least 2 will have models available at launch, and maybe even 3. And yes, the 3 I talked about just a minute ago, Asus, PowerColor, and Sapphire, are the most likely to succeed. Unfortunately, the other part of the rumor about the high prices has not been debunked. What the heck, let's talk about AMD Radeon GPUs some more. There was also an interesting leak posted early Friday morning regarding other Navi chips that will likely power RX 7000 series GPUs further down the product stack. Mid-range GPUs would be a welcome sight to PC gamers who are sick of all the new stuff costing a cool grand or more, and this leak is essentially confirmed since the data was pulled from an update to AMD's ROCm software that was spotted by Twitter leaker at Kepler_L2. ROCm is an open software platform allowing researchers to tap the power of AMD Instinct accelerators, but its open nature also means the code can be viewed, where the labels of hardware traits Navi 32 and Navi 33 can be seen alongside CU count numbers, which are quite likely to be compute units. And while the upcoming Navi 31-based RX 7900 XT and RX 7900 XTX graphics cards have 96 CUs in the full configuration, the Navi 32, which will likely power RX 7800 class cards, sports 60, and the Navi 33 for RX 7600 range cards has 32, 1/3 the CUs of the top-end variant. This would appear to confirm the leaks that trickled out over the summer about AMD's RDNA 3 plans, and according to WCCF Tech, the Navi 32 die, aka Wheat NAS, will be a multi-chip module like Navi 31, but with 4 MCDs for memory and cache, whereas Navi 33, aka Hot Pink Bonefish, and I think someone from AMD's R&D team is messing with us on these code names at this point, will remain a monolithic design with a single die built on TSMC's 6nm process. We're expecting to hear more about Navi 32 or Radeon 6800 class GPUs at CES in January. That's really good. But now, since I still have some Christmas lights to put up and some pie to finish this weekend, we will cover the rest of the news quick style with tech briefs. Speaking of hot new GPUs, if you're worried that your shiny new RTX 4080 or 4090 might be getting too hot, specifically at the junction point of your 12-volt high power connector, GPU-Z has provided an update that could help you keep tabs on that situation without obsessively checking if it's plugged in all the way. GPU-Z version 2.51.0 added support for monitoring 16-pin power input so you can see the actual voltage and wattage, and hopefully take action if these values suddenly begin to spike. Or maybe you don't have a shiny new RTX 4080 or 4090 if reports from John Petty Research are accurate. GPU sales have plunged, nosedived, or otherwise otherwise fallen precipitously, apparently in a fashion not seen since the aftermath of the 2008 global recession, which doesn't seem ominous at all. In Q3 2022, PC CPU shipments decreased by 19% year over year, and GPU shipments were down 25.1%. Causes are multifaceted, of course. The crypto market plunge in the second half of this year, as well as Ethereum's switch to proof of stake, greatly reduced demand in that market. There are next-gen cards beginning to come out, which causes consumer hesitancy, and perhaps most importantly, people just don't have any fucking money. A word of warning to my viewers who like to overclock their GPUs: beware of rogue versions of MSI's Afterburner software that have been popping up online, which are infested with GPU miners and password hijacking malware. More than 50 fake websites distributing the tainted installers have been identified by the Cybel Research and Intelligence Lab, so if you'd like to crank up your GPU's clock speed with peace of mind, download the app directly from MSI's website, not from anywhere else. My God, it looks like the malware is continuing to spread. It has clearly also infected this article's headline. What the heck is malware? I don't think you need that comma there either. But anyway, lastly, if you'd like to get some holiday PC gaming in on the cheap without buying expensive new GPUs or other hardware, you may now access the ever-popular Steam Autumn Sale, which went live earlier this week. Games are marked down by 20 to 50% or more, and I'm not one to tell you which ones are good, so I'll leave that to the folks over at PC Gamer. I have heard positive things about Tiny Tina's Wonderlands though. That's half off. So get you some games to populate your list and add to the titles that you've bought but never played. It's a holiday tradition. And it's also tradition for me to say, there you have it guys, tech news for the week, and if you liked it, click that like button, leave me a comment down below. While you're down there, all the articles I talked about today are linked in the description if you're interested. You can also check out my store at paulshardware.net for high quality merchandise, t-shirts, hoodies, beer sets, and more, new water bottles, and of course that holiday sale going on right now. Subscribing to my channel is always a good call too. Thanks again everyone, and we'll see you next week. Clap for sync.